Back. Look at this. Consistency is key. It's only took us about 4 days to organise this.
Sick of you both already.
I didn't even like it to begin with. Fucking prick.
Where are you, Tom? Where are you at?
Tenerife.
Where? Tenerife. Oh, nice.
It's on a drugs run.
Yeah, Latin American. It's only 26.
Yeah.
26 degrees.
Yeah.
Sweating.
Oh.
Mate, I'm sweating anyway. I think I got food poisoning yesterday.
Fuck off.
Like, you know when you book an hotel and you read all the reviews and everything, and you're like, yeah, that's sound. The food's not great.
Oh, shit.
Was it all inclusive?
Oh, yeah. They had some pork, mate, honestly. And I thought, oh, that looks all right. Got some of it, bits about half, and I was like, this is soft. It was literally just like red. I was like, oh, fuck's sake.
So,
and then yesterday just woke up, mate. Honestly, yesterday I woke up and all my joints were just like aching and just like shit.
Oh.
You're not going to train?
To be fair, I trained yesterday morning, but you know when just nothing like feels like there's just nothing, just like there's just no connections, no nothing.
Because I'm not there. That's what it is.
It is.
Yeah.
I tried to imagine you there, but it just didn't work.
No. Oh, Kieran's got.
Honestly, I thought I saw someone die in the gym yesterday. I've never seen anything like this. There's some girl on like a plylo step, and she had a barbell on her back. Went to stand on the step, missed the step, head hit the plylo step, and the barbell just went think. And I honestly, I thought she was dead.
Oh my god! Is Caitlin all right then?
She's all right. She's got a bit of a bad
head. What did you do? What did you do, Tom? Just pretend you never seen it and just walked off.
Honestly, mate, I was just like looking at it like, wow. But I think it was one of them where everyone in the gym just kind of looked at her like, I don't know if she does it on the regular, like does weird shit. But just like no one really moved. Like one guy went up to her like, "You all right?" And she's like, "Yeah," but everyone else was just looking at like, "Oh, again." So like, I can tell like you just
part of a routine.
Weird shit. Yeah, it was like, "Oh, she's done something else today." Mega.
How's your back, Kieran?
Getting better, mate. Getting better. I'm just fucking. I mean, you know where you feel like if you just took one wrong step, if I stepped off a curb wrong, it'd just be the end of the world.
Last back.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Right now, I'm like, oh, I've got no. It's like a 2 out of 10 pain, just a bit of throbbing. But
oh, really?
I don't know. I want to try and get back in the gym tomorrow, but I think I'm just going to wear like a waist trainer and just, I don't know,
tampon.
15, 20. Yeah, just be a little bitch, I think.
Have you been dosing up on the pain meds though?
Fucking give up, mate. Give up. Can't do it.
Hallucinating.
Fuck you up, mate.
Honestly, he was texting me saying, honestly, Ryan, you're the best bodybuilder in the UK. And I was like, you're fucking off your head here.
That's when you know things are going wrong. Mate,
yeah, that's you know.
When I was going, look, I'm not being funny, but there's a little purple dragon in this house, and I just can't find it. that's when he's like, game over now. Game over.
Chasing the dragon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. Amazing. That's class. So, yeah, you're back in the gym tomorrow then?
Yeah, I'm going to try, mate. I'm definitely going to try. See how it goes. Just be sensible in it.
We are meant to be doing this podcast on, what is it, the best fat burning stack, or what we would use and utilize for fat burners. But watching back on the last podcast, I think we were quite serious for us, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were quite thinking, fucking hell, when did I get so serious about this? Felt like John Jewett, just trying to be like, physique development, blah, blah, blah. So let's throw in some curveballs, just questions, random questions. Right. If you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh.
Invisibility.
I was thinking that then, but
fucking creep.
Yeah.
Why, Kieran?
Literally, yeah. Literally. Because, right, not just the fact.
Justify it. Well, because I could just have a wank and no one see me in there.
not the fact that you're just going to be sat in women's changing rooms and shit, right? But you could be a fucking billionaire because you could just rob everything, couldn't you? You could steal anything and no one would know.
Yeah. But they'd see the thing moving though. Like,
what's that?
Yeah, but theoretically, you can only carry so much.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, mate. But let's just say you fucking went somewhere and I don't know.
What, shopping in Selfridges? Just thinking out. Imagine you went to Selfridges and just got new clothes. Millionaire.
Can you carry stuff? If you're invisible, can you pick stuff up if you're invisible?
Yeah. So, no, because the object wouldn't be invisible.
Yeah, but your hands are.
Yeah, but the object
but you can still. Yeah, but you can still pick it up, don't it?
Yeah, but they'd be able to see you then physically. You physically.
Yeah, sound will be like, they'll look and they'll go, fucking hell, that gold bar's getting off and they ain't catching me getting off that gold bar.
With your glass back, you'd be like, looking around. I'll pick this back up. Fucking hell. I think probably either Bernard's watch or Bernard's watch.
Yeah.
What a shit bag! How shit was he?
What? Just to go and undo all the shit that you fucked up.
All right.
Hey,
a bit much. It's only Sunday. Yeah, but I think I used to watch Bernard's watch and think, why are you doing what you're doing, mate? You could do so much better stuff with this. But I think there's a film called Jumper where they can teleport.
Yeah.
I was going to say flying. I could fly.
Teleporting would be good because you could teleport into a bank, teleport back home, drop the stuff off, teleport.
Yeah,
that's to be fair.
When you teleport into a women's changing room to have a wank, they're still going to see you. They've got to get off.
That's how fast you teleport.
They've got to wank as well.
Yeah, you'd have to fucking get to the point where you're about to come and then teleport. Oh, fucking hell.
Wow.
Right, what's yours?
I'd say I was going to say flying, but similar to teleporting, to be fair. But yeah, flying because I spend a lot of time on planes. It'd save me a fortune, to be fair.
All right, Mr. Worldwide.
I'm excited, so that.
Yeah, but are you going to carry your missus with you in 3 bags?
Yeah, honestly, I genuinely think I'll be fine. It's Caitlin, like she needs like 3 cases.
Yeah,
I need like 2 pair of shorts and a pair of sandals, and I'm fine.
When you say fly though, like how fast do you think you can fucking fly, mate? Do you know what I mean? How long's it going to take you there?
Yeah, but like fucking rapid, like.
But if you look at superheroes who can fly, like Superman can get there pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair point.
So, but he has got like a cape and that. Would you wear a cape as well?
Yeah, 100%. But one that only comes down to my waist, so my bollocks are free.
Yeah, just like breathe. Just breathe.
Just a nice
What's your favourite sexual position with your boyfriend, Kieran, and why?
Boyfriend. With me, anything that doesn't compromise my lower back.
Missionary, you on your back.
Wow.
Me on my back with my legs up. Go on, what is it?
Jesus.
What's my favourite sexual position?
Yeah.
Depends if it's off season or prep. If it's prep, I'm like a fucking acrobat, mate, like a ninja. Kama Sutra box out and everything.
Yeah, the thing is, we're short, so like everything's like acrobatic to us. It's like she's only bent over the desk, and you're like, fucking hell.
If it's off season, right, you lay in bed, and then you take a deep breath, and you roll over on top. You give it a quick few pumps, and then you fucking roll off the other side, and that's it. Game over.
It's done. They're like, oh, thanks for that, baby. Oh, fucking hell, thank you. Oh, the worst was like you fucking led on like the kitchen floor or the bathroom floor, like. I shouldn't have had that Viagra. That second Viagra. Oh, yeah. I think.
Go and take some Cialis quick.
Yeah. Think to myself, like, if she's ugly, doggy style. But then if you want to make her fall in love, or just that like pile drive where you put like her feet on your shoulders and you just use them, so you don't have to thrust anymore.
Use the bed.
You can't be asked to push you and pull
you're just like gonna get a sick chest pump, sick shoulder pump, like fucking. You're gassed. That's probably like.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably my.
Well, it's like when you watch videos back of you in the gym and you're on a chest press, that's what they're watching. So it's not great. For
your face like that. Oh, you're really fit, babe. Like, oh, yeah, no. And then you just can't. Yeah, you can't even breathe. That's the problem. I only realised how shit my cardio was during. I was thinking, fucking hell, I need to level up here at intervals. It's like literally 30 seconds on.
When you get in there and you're thinking, this is a trade-off. This like, am I gonna fucking finish or am I gonna die?
Yeah,
but it's gonna
Mate, genuinely. And they're thinking you could just last long. It's like, no, I was about to have an heart attack. Like, it was
Oh.
that's amazing. Tom, we'll not make you answer that because your missus is probably listening. It was like one of them things where your mate, like, he's lying to someone and he's looking at you like, and it's your job to like understand, like, shut the fuck up. We're not with you, Kieran. I was with you on Tuesday. Yeah. Right. What's your most embarrassing moment, Kieran?
Oh, fuck.
Embarrassing moment, mate. I'm just going to go back to last week's podcast. It's all right. I don't think I mentioned it on last week. I know I had the finger up my ass and all that, but I did I tell you? I don't know if I said it on the podcast where she said to me, "You need to pull your pants down so I can get to your groin."
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, Tom? Yeah. So I'm on the bed. I'm thinking, right,
groin, mate, it's definitely like pants to your knees minimum.
That's pants to knees. So I'm on the bed.
But Kieran, just go halfway so you're not getting quads out. Keep them covered.
Yeah. So I'm struggling like fuck to get my pants down, and then when my pants are down, they're kind of like by my knees. So she's turned round. I'm obviously there, lay there, with my dick out, and she's got this fucking, I don't know, whatever it is,
dildo.
And she dildo. And she's just scanning my belly to scan my bladder, and I'm thinking, why am I laying with my dick out? I'm
watching. This guy's fucking keen. He's clearly on too many.
I think she felt embarrassed, and she just thought, "Oh, fuck this, I'm not saying anything." Let me get my pants back on. And then she decided to violate me anyway.
Yeah, literally. Wow. What's your most embarrassing?
Like, are we talking ever? This is bad though.
Fucking
right. This is going back way. Honestly, I think I was like 18. This is bad, and I just got with a girl. Right. And it was her birthday like a week after I just got with her. Right, and she wanted it. She wanted a kitten. And at the same time, my brother's cat just gave birth. Honestly, it's nuts. Yeah.
You've not a kitten, have you, Tom?
My brother's cat had just given birth, so I was like, sweet, saved a fortune, mega. Got her a kitten, and then I went to like Pets at Home and bought the tray and all that bollocks, spent like a tenner, I don't even know. Anyway, on our birthday night, we went to a pub in West Orton. Right. And then walking home, and I felt fine. I felt all right. But you know when you hit the bed and the room just goes fuck off.
Oh, it starts spinning.
Yeah, mate, you'll lay there like, oh shit. Right, so I knew I was going to be sick. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to grab something here. So I leaned over the bed and pulled what I thought was a bin.
Oh, was it a kitten tray?
Lad, I spewed in this fucking kitten's tray, and the only thing I saw was eyes looking at me just covered in steam. Honestly. And then I just passed out.
And then that was it.
I woke up in the morning, the girl was sat at the end of the bed just staring at me. And I woke up and I felt fresh. I'm sound, like, yeah. And then she just looked at me. She went, I want you to leave. And I was like, what the fuck have I done? And you know when you're walking over and it all starts going back to you.
Oh my God.
And Mum rang me and was like, that wasn't the worst of it. Yeah, you passed out, but as you passed out, you spewed all over the bed.
Oh.
We had to change the bed, change your clothes. Like you said, we had to strip you, change your clothes. You couldn't even speak.
What are you drinking?
Fucking out. Well, it was her birthday, but she didn't do shots. But at the time, I was a heavy shot drinker, apparently.
Standard.
Every time, because she went to the pub a bit. Should have been a red flag. Anyway, but because she went to the pub quite a bit, every round I bought for her, they were giving her shots, but she didn't drink them, and I did.
Oh, so you're just greedy.
Yeah,
mine's probably. I've got fucking loads. I've got some bad ones. Mine's probably. I met this girl in the gym, that gym I worked in, being one of them gym creeps. I went to college with her. Went out on a night out, seen her, went back home with her thinking, oh, well, the way she's acting, like, there's nobody in her house. So we've gone downstairs, and obviously I'm thinking she's a fucking 10, so I was like, right, I need to put in a performance here. Like, I needed to tell a friend, so I've got more backups to fucking get with. But I was in the fucking living room on the carpet, and my knees were burning like shit. And I thought, let's go to your room, like, what are you fucking doing down here? Went upstairs, getting down to it. She's say my name quite quietly because I'm not that good. But no, she was like shouting. I was thinking, clearly no one's in. Next minute, boom, doors open. And fucking, you know, when someone rips the quilt off you, I'm bollock naked. Her dad's there in his undies. I stood up bollock naked, hard on, obviously, right? And he goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was thinking, kind of self-explanatory. She wrapped herself in the covers, fucking yeah. So I'm stood there and I'm thinking, Jenny went, "Good job, I'm not a fighting man." I thought I'd kick fuck at you, but all right. I thought I'll let you have this one. So
mate,
go on, tell me.
Yeah. No, I did you finish yours?
Anyway, so I started putting my clothes back on. He's going, "Is this what you do? Bring fucking girls back when they're drunk?" And mum comes down. She goes, "I'm not saying her name. She's paralytic. She doesn't know like what's going on."
Whoa.
Yeah. So I was like, "What the fuck?" So he's going mad at me. I said, I don't want to have to do this. I said, "But this is your daughter's WhatsApp, and these are all the pictures and all the messages that she's been sending me to prove that the fact I hadn't just met her. Like I've been texting. You know what I mean? Like it was arranged." And then he was like, "Well, fuck off." And I was like, "I don't even know where I am." And he was like, "Right." And he was like, "How are you going to get home?" I said, "I don't know." He went, "Right, genuinely." He went, "Right, there's a tenner for a taxi. You owe it." I was like, "All right, sounds good." Rang my mate. I said, "Will you pick us up, bro?" Like, kept the money. Next day, he marched. Next day, I'm in work at the desk. He marches in with his whole family, his missus, her, fucking his sisters. "I'm here to cancel my membership." Manager's like, "What's going on, man?" I said, "I don't know, mate. Don't know." Like, in front of the whole gym, like this is like a total fitness. He's like, he's come into my house. He's and I think I can't, like, that big the gym, I can't run, I can't hide, I can't. Everything's like, "What have you done?" I was like, no. He's like, "Going, mate, I've got the sack. I genuinely got the sack." And I thought, wow. Yeah, anyway, I felt, and then supposedly went on holiday next day. I thought, I feel bad for her, but I was so irritated, but I thought, I didn't get to finish. Yeah, that was an embarrassing moment when he come into the gym and was like, there were probably a good 100 people there listening to me go through his daughter. Oh well.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I lost my job and didn't even get to come. Shame. Good times. Right, let's go on to fat burners. Right, what do we have written down here? Did send it in there.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at, obviously, I hate the word lipolytics, but they're called lipolytics, obviously. What do we initially, we've got obviously different categories of lipolytics, haven't we? We've got obviously cardio, we've got steps. Obviously, we're not going to talk about nutrition because that's a thing that is given anyway. It's going to be in a deficit. What other stuff have we got? We've got
Clen.
Yeah.
Clen's a big one.
T4, L-carnitine.
We've got T3GH. So let's talk about what I would initially do for, say, a client to start the fat loss process. Obviously, it goes without saying you put them in a deficit.
Yes.
For me, I then set a certain amount of NEAT levels. So what that means is obviously non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which basically just means movement throughout the day that's not direct exercise. So I'll set that at 10K. Some people will already be doing 10K. Some people will be doing 8K or whatever they've been doing, depending on their job. Then after that, obviously, we're looking at direct cardio. So do you guys start initially on direct cardio, or do you initially start with like Clen, your Himbine, and so on? How do you do it?
So for me, cardio is someone that's competing. I do like to titrate up. So it might start, if they're not doing any, it might start on like 20 minutes, then 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever. But I like to get them fat free way before they need to compete. So then I can pull that cardio, keep them fresh, retain that tissue. Do you know what I mean? I know some people like to front load, hit them hard, 60 minutes cardio straight away from the get-go, get the fat off, and then kind of pull back. But I like to titrate.
When I'm looking at cardio, I'm looking at what is it trying to do? It's creating a bigger deficit. What are the positives of routine, fucking keeping that mindset locked in? Obviously, once we add lipolytics in, they're going to work more efficiently with cardio. But also, we're going to look at how is it going to be detrimental? So it's going to bring about more fatigue. So if you start on, say, 60 minutes cardio to start off with, your training performance, that what we want to keep right high, is going to fucking plummet on its ass. But I've noticed that for myself anyway. So I'm the same as you, Kieran. I start on pretty much 20 minutes times 3, depending on the body composition. And then I've got duration that I can increase. So what I tend to do is I'll put it on smaller body parts, like if they're going to do like post-workout. That's another thing as well. A lot of people who are working like early hours, I'd rather them get more sleep and do post-workout cardio than I would say get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do fucking cardio because fasted, because it doesn't really matter at that point. Do you know what I mean? It's like, would I rather them get 2 hours more sleep? Yeah, than get actually doing fasting. There comes a point where fasting is going to be needed to separate the workout so it's not so long. But initially with the cardio, I'll set it where I'll put it on smaller body parts and even do where there's more duration on non-training days. So looking at doing more cardio on non-training days than I would do on a training day as well. And that's like the first protocol in it.
Yeah, and then with some people, I would put cardio pre-last meal as well. I always find that works really well. Only because I've tried it on myself, and I feel like it helps digest that meal really well, and you get a good sleep from it.
What was you going to say, Tom?
I think for myself, I'm a massive believer in steps, to be fair. So if I've had a Clen for a while and he's doing a baseline of about 10,000 steps a day, I'll stick with roughly probably around 20%. I'll stick to about 12. And I'll utilize that for a max amount of time. Then we'll go to probably 14, then 15, then look at adding cardio, and just mainly for fatigue as well. Because I find with steps, it's obviously very beneficial to lowering fatigue. But as soon as you put the cardio in, obviously your body does start to take away. So I'm like, as you know, with myself, Brian, I left cardio with myself near enough all the way in prep last year.
Yeah, well, like you didn't do any cardio at all until the last few weeks, until a little bit harder. And that's actually something that I would love to try myself, like doing it with yourself, because having that lower bout of obviously like steps, it's still movement, but it's not Stairmaster, where it's actually you're very different as well, Kim. You don't do much cardio, do you? Because your metabolism. I think some people warrant the cardio.
Yes,
But for time efficiency, for the calorie burning, the time efficiency, some people, if they've got a hectic life, like with us, because bodybuilding is all we do, we can, and you've got the gym, Tom, you can fit them steps in. But again, it's sometimes the cardio is more efficient to do 20 minutes cardio than it is to do an extra 3,000-4,000 steps. But yeah, I would definitely. What I tend to do is I'll maybe do 20 minutes cardio, and then when the fatigue as through the prep goes, I've still got steps as a tool to utilize then. Do you know what I mean? So then it's something I can use.
I've been pushing that stand effort inside as well, right? When it does come to pushing the steps, I'm always saying, look, don't just do step for step's sake. Let's eat a meal and do a 10-minute walk.
Yeah. I've done that this week with a guy, and his blood glucose has gone from 5.9 to like 4.4, which is fucking
work.
Wow. Yeah, definitely work.
So the next, what would you do next in a prep phase? Would you add in Clen? Would you add in your Himbine? Would you add in T3, T4?
Obviously, taking aside diet and stuff here, aren't we? But just
This is purely just fat burners. What the best stack is, how to do it.
Clen for me for the start, and I'd always start on just 20 NCG.
See, I do Clen. Yeah, I do Clen and your Himbine together because they work on different receptors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so for people who don't know, Clen is going to obviously be a thermogenic. Your Himbine is a bit more of a natural fat burner, and they're going to work on different receptors. So they do work in synergy really well together. What I would say is some fasted work needs to be done. So if that is fasted steps, if you can get out and do a walk in the morning, 2,000 to 3,000 steps after taking that Clen on your Himbine. What I found is, like Kieran said, then 20 micrograms of Clen to start, and 5 mg of your Himbine is perfect in it.
Mate, yeah, more than enough.
And then
I just find that some people struggle with your Himbine.
Digestion.
Person dependent, isn't it?
Yeah, again, it's like anything. It's all person dependent. It says I've found 10 mg I can cope with. Anything above 10 mg, my stomach goes fucked.
Yeah.
I think going back, I think the best thing I used was the thing that you sent over, Ryan, was the Clen and your Himbine mix in the drop form.
The pipette.
Yeah, that. Because going back, I remember previous prep to that, I ran some Melee Tiger Clen, mate, and I couldn't even handle the stuff.
I think you've got to be careful with Clen as well because a lot of it is laced with amphetamines.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
great.
the Melee Tiger stuff was ridiculous. So like, fucking, it's nuts.
That's the one thing as well is like that can drive a lot of fatigue, nervous fatigue if it's too strong. People get this thing where they're like, oh, if I'm not shaking like a shitting dog, then it's not working, but it really is. You don't want to be like a smackhead shaking like a shitting dog off Clen. It's
I think with the Melee Tiger, it was like a 3-day. I think it was 10 meg, then 3-day at 20 meg, 3-day at 30 meg, 3-day at 40 meg, and I think I lasted 9 days. Yeah. I was like, I
think everyone knows the fucking way overdosed. Way overdosed.
I don't think it's Clen.
Yeah, it's probably not Clen.
No.
Probably something else.
Yeah, I don't think it's Clen. I think it is literally just like I say, some sort of amphetamine. Yeah. It doesn't feel like Clen. But like I say, for the Clen, like to then maneuver that up, when would you add more Clenbuterol? When would you add more Yohimbine? How much would you add?
When I'm up in... Go on, Tom.
No, go on, mate. Right.
When I'm up in Clen, I up it in 20s. When I'm up in Yohimbine, from there, from 5, it might be just 2.5 from there, depending on which ones they can get hold of. It's hard to say when you up it because it's always in synergy with diet and whatever and cardio, but basically you're upping it when you're stagnating, when you're stalling.
Yeah.
So I tend to look at, say, for example, I'll look at everything on a whole. So I'll look at someone's like on the feedback sheet on the check-in, I'll be like, right, if the hunger's sky high, I'm not going to pull the calories down. If they're already at quite high cardio and or they're just not managing the workouts or the performance of the gym's dropping because they're overly fatigued or overworked. If they're saying, oh, I've got so much on at work, I've got so much stress, I've got loads of family commitments, that'll then dictate when I'll up it or how I'll up it, because obviously I'm not going to pull the cardio. I'm not going to put the cardio up if they're running out of time. So then that's a useful tool that I feel to be able to put in to be able to then obviously make that change. What I sometimes do as well, which works in the past, is I might do one day where I'll do like 40 mcg and I might do another day where I'll do 60 mcg and alternate it back and forth. That gives us another change to then go to everyday 60 rather than it just like...
There's loads of different ways that people run Clem, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or titrate up to 120, then have 2 weeks off. And I mean, and it all seems to work, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think for me, what I found the best, like you said, Kieran, is the best way I've found to do it is that way that we do it, like slowly utilize it as another tool. And the same with the combine, you don't need to push that as much. It's just there to obviously bring about that obviously lipolysis in them stubborn areas like lower back, glutes, so on. Looking at obviously the other side of like so people get mixed up as well. They think T3 and T4 are fat burners when they're not actually fat burners. They're obviously a thyroid drug. When would you implement obviously T4 or T3?
The T3, I leave it as late as I can, really, because it can make you catabolic. Yeah, you can definitely get flat from having too much T3. I don't think too much of it's good. But then it also depends if you're using a lot of GH. Because if you're using a lot of GH, your TSH is low, so you're not producing as much T4. So you'll have to add the T4 in. So it's all a bit synergistic, the GH, the T4, the T3.
This is exactly what I found. I literally test my thyroid, my T4, and then see where it's at. And then I'm like, right, we can implement T4 now. And that will then bring it back up to a normal range. So because you know yourself being in a deficit for so long, and add the fact in you're on GH, your T4 will downregulate. So then I'll add that in at say 100 milligram, and then that'll bring us to a limit. And you could probably ride that for a week or two, couldn't you?
Oh, easy, mate. Yeah.
And I'm an advocate of like, if I can hold off using T3, I will do.
Yeah.
Just because, like you say, it's such a powerful tool and it's such a powerful drug that once it's in, it's in there. Do you know, it's not like a Clen or Yohimbine where you can pull it and push it and so on. It will strip muscle off you. Have you heard of people high levels of T3 early on in a prep?
I've heard of people fucking hammering it, mate. Yeah.
What would you say? What's hammering it though? Just to give some context to people.
But have you ever seen what Milos said in one of his fucking?
I've got his cycle.
Oh, no. when he was there's a picture of him, you must have seen it. He looks like fucking death, but he's absolutely peeled. He must be like 170 pounds. Because he got some cream, some tea-free cream, and his missus was putting it on. I can't remember the dosages, but honestly, it was something crazy. And anyway, he ended up just rubbing it in. I think he rubbed it into his back or whatever. And by the end of the week, he'd used the whole tube. And then when he checked out what dosage he'd used, it was like a fucking 1,000 microgram or something daft in a week. Lucky to not be dead, but he was fucking peeled.
Yeah. So what's that cream? Yeah. I think definitely like with the T4 side of things is stay at 100 micrograms. That's all you need. But I would definitely say get it's the cheapest chips fucking test. Just get it tested and see where it's at. If you need it, put it in. Like I say, T3. Normally the dosaging on T3 is probably what 25 milligrams. I don't ever go.
I started 12 and a half with a lot of people. It just depends. Depends who they are. Again, it's still hard to answer some questions because they're so fucking person dependent. But yeah, I'd like to start at 12 and a half if I could.
Yes. Again, what we were saying on the last podcast, start at a minimum and then just you always can go up then. You don't need to you don't need to fuck about. L-carnitine. What do you feel about the L-carnitine?
Yeah, I mean it's sort of fat oxidization, isn't it? And it obviously like it'll convert fat to energy, so that's perfect pre-cardio. So I mean in reality, you can start that from day one. Or if someone's burning fat and everything's going great, use it as the tool when you need to use it. When the energy's low and they're dragging their ass through cardio, then put it in there.
The other thought process I had was with you, Tom, actually, is that the same? Tom got really fucking lean before he implemented any lipolytic.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just I don't know. It's like the practice felt so. It felt so easy. Like it was just steps. I think I was topping out around 14,000 steps a day. But in reality, all that allowed me to do throughout the whole prep was constantly progress in the sessions. So I think all my fat burning come from just battering the gym constantly, not being fatigued at all.
What it's fucking come from, mate, is, and I've thought about this loads when sometimes I'm like, fucking hell, I don't even need any drugs there. I mean, I'm getting leaner. For the fact that you've been consistently doing the same shit for fucking years on years on years on years.
Yeah.
But when you've had someone who's been in the game for 2 years and they're having to throw all these fucking tools in and do more cardio and this, that, and the other, you're like, well, you did that fucking 15 years ago and you've never stopped doing it. So it should be easier and you're holding more muscle and muscles demands more oxygen.
I think the other thing as well to look at is, again, sleep. So if you're looking at saying you're taking Clen and you're taking your Himbine and these stimulants to do form cardio, it's like that is going to impact your sleep. So maybe getting leaner and leaner and leaner and then utilizing them as a tool further down the line. Like, again, it's all person dependent, but I do feel like it does warrant, some cases warrants that, because then you could probably get to a certain stage where you're pretty fat free without having to do fucking a lot, and then add it in as a thing where it's like you don't have to add it in from day one. It's all trial and error. But what do you think about off the shelf fat burners? What is your thoughts on them?
I'll be honest with
you. I've never used them.
The only one I've used for fucking long time now is Conti Sports pre-shred. And genuinely, mate, it was a fucking belter.
Yeah.
And I don't when you go like specifically, is it burning fat? Well, probably not. But what it's doing is making you focus and you drive so fucking intense that you push cardio harder, and therefore
what it allows you to do, it allows you to perform better, because obviously the stimulant base of it, your heart rate's going to go up, you're going to sweat a little bit more, you're going to be able to work harder, it's going to decrease your appetite. So I do feel like they are something that's a useful tool. The same as a pre-workout, same as something, but again, it's a useful tool if you want that added. It's basically a pre-fucking workout, isn't it? But just with a few added ingredients that is going to allow you to obviously down-regulate your appetite. So I think that they are a useful tool for somebody who doesn't really want to go down, obviously using Clen and your Himbine and so on. What have you found with, I know, Tom, you haven't used GH in a prep, have you? But what have you found in using GH here in a prep?
For me, like I don't feel like it accelerated any fat loss. but I feel like it helped me retain. It definitely helped me retain muscle and keep fullness.
I think it's a fullness thing, isn't it? I think it's 100% a fullness. When you're up, and then I think what that allows you to do is push the calories further down if needs be, and still retain the size and fullness.
Which I think, in all honesty, mate, right, is the basis of most of the drugs that you use close to the back end of a prep. It's all just to be able to retain strength, retain energy, retain muscle tissue, because you're at the dog end, you're not eating much fucking food, you're doing loads of cardio, you're fat free, you know, you're burning the candle at both ends. You're just basically trying to make sure you don't lose any muscle then.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I was chatting to Riz actually yesterday about the L-carnitine, and he messaged me saying, in your next prep, take as much L-carnitine as you possibly can, bro, and watch. He said that he was taking pre-cardio, pre-gym, post-gym, pre-bed, obviously because he's got the products, and he was like, it's fucking free ride, just take as much as you want. But he said he was literally dropping body fat and weight daily, like his food had to go up. He said
when I've looked at the fucking the science behind it, it's literally fat oxidation, right? It's converting fat to energy.
Yeah.
So if you've got any, you're just using it as energy. That's why you're doing it pre-cardio, then you're doing it pre-gym. It's a fucking belting tool. What dose was he doing it there though? Do you know?
He said he was doing 500 mg morning, 500 mg pre, 500 mg post, so about 2 grams a day.
Because that's so is bottles 500 per mil.
Yeah, so it'd be a mil pre-cardio, mil pre-gym, post-gym. But obviously,
I've only ever used 400 daily total. I've ever used.
I think, yeah, I've used 500. I've never pushed it above that. And that's what he said. He was like, everybody uses 500. But when you look at the research and anecdotally on himself, he was like, I was just, and he said to Martin, I'm just going to push it and see. And he was like, I was just dropping weight, dropping fat.
No, mate. It's an amino acid, isn't it? It's in food. It's in like fucking beef, red meat, and all that kind of shit. So your body can produce it, yeah. So I don't see the negative side effect to it.
I think the other thing, obviously, why people are not realizing why you have to inject is just the bioavailability of it. Like people think, oh, you can get it in tablet form, you get it in powder form. Like you're not going to get you've got to utilize.
And that's the whole point of why the world's gone mad on or IV drips now, because you spend all this money on all these tablets and you're not actually uptaking what you're putting in your fucking mouth. You put it directly into a vein. It's fucking game on, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. And then, to be fair, I used that other product as well, which was really good yesterday. The pre-gym one, like to a point where my arms were it felt like Mediform. My arms were that pumped. I was like, fuck, no. It was a really. I was actually surprised at it. To be fair, it was.
I'm gonna give that a go tomorrow.
What are you training tomorrow? Arms.
I don't know, mate. If I'm honest, I've got no idea. Just whatever's not hurting.
just gonna go in and do a bit.
Yeah.
With so for example, with the rest of the preps, like for me, let's just summarize like do's and don'ts of utilizing these tools. I'll start off. Well, the first thing I'd say is don't use them all at once.
Yeah.
And then also look at don't overly do them because you don't want to pull food down.
Yeah.
I think in any fat burning scenario, we've got 3 tools: lipolytics, cardio output, and steps, and obviously input, which is going to be calories. Anyone who is looking to lose body fat, not just prep for a show, but lose body fat, it's juggling all 3 of them. So it's basically having your calories at a set point where you're obviously in a deficit, but you can still perform in the gym. Your output where it's going to help with that deficit, but not take away from training. And then your lipolytics are just going to be the icing on the cake, which is going to allow you to, like you said, just utilize fat as a fuel. I think that's one thing.
I would also, if you give yourself enough time between those 3, just play with one of them per week, roughly, for a few days.
Yeah, that's what I meant by don't use them all at once. Like be spared, like use them sparingly. Like what some people do is they'll start a dieting phase and be like, right, I'm starting T3, Clen, your Himbine, an hour's cardio, and fucking 1,000 calories. And all that does it just.
What I'm saying is so if you've just run a week now and it's like, right, we need to make a decision, something needs to change to lose more fat. Don't increase cardio decrease food and increase drugs all at that same time.
Mm-hmm.
Just do one. And the only time I'd ever, stagger it, just because you're going to make progress then, as long as you give yourself enough time.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing now. Everybody's heading into a prep for us, obviously for next year. I'm saying to the guys, like, the amount of fat that we can take off in 4 weeks is massive compared to the amount of fat we can muscle in 4 weeks. We can add maybe a pound of muscle max in 4 weeks, but we can take a good 6 pounds of fat off.
Easily, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So giving yourself that runway of an extra, even if it's an extra 4 weeks of a dieting phase, is going to allow you to then, if you don't make progress 1 week, or if you're ill another week, or you just basically fuck up on your diet, because it happens, it gives you that leeway then. Obviously, that's not a fucking thing to say you don't have to work hard, but it just give yourself more time, because the more time you've got, the leaner you're going to be, and not the easier it's going to be, but the more comfortable it's going to be in it.
100%. If you've got like I always say it's like a gliding a plane experience. If you can glide a plane at a less steeper angle, it's going to be a lot easier than having to almost dive the fucker to get in. Yeah. You've got your start point of your diet here and your end point here, your show, holiday, whatever you've got. The less of an angle this has got, not like you say, not easier it's going to be, but definitely more comfortable.
Yeah, the more sustainable and the more be. And
you can't get away from the fact that you're going to fucking suffer towards the end, because when you're fat free, no matter what, you're going to feel like fucking shit. But it's not about, again, the more you can do. And this is not from being lazy, this is from experience, and we've all fucking done it. I've done the fucking 3 hours cardio a day on 1,000 fucking calories a day. I've tried it, I got peeled, it ruined my fucking life. It's not needed.
I was sat in Starbucks fucking genuinely like contemplating life, like tears going down, and I was thinking, I can't do this. I'm not built for this. It's fucking different. Like, I remember doing 0 carbs and 0 fats for 2 weeks straight and 3 hours cardio to make weight for like fucking classic fucking amateur. It was like 160 odd pound. I think the cutoff was 175 and I was down to like 168. And the coach at the time wanted me to get lower than the weight so he could carb me up. But mate, I wasn't 168 pound. Like, I was dying inside. And the no fats, I think it was the no fats that sent me over the edge. It like,
because then your hormones are shot, then aren't they? Maybe no
mind. You can't even think.
No, I was just like, fuck this. It's not even good. I got 2 blueberry muffins and I was like, oh, I feel all right now. I'm like, fuck this. I was like, what was up with me? The thing, I think that's another thing as well that we've not touched on, because obviously we've just delved off these fat burners a bit, but with like cheat meals and refeeds, I think for me personally, if you're a lifestyle client, you can opt in and have 1 meal off plan per week.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, because again, the best plan we can create for you is one that you can adhere to and stick to for consistency over time, rather than it being a prep. I think a lot of people I had a guy message me yesterday saying like, he's treating this like I'm a hardcore professional bodybuilder. And I'm like, I'm just going on holiday with my family. You won't have a family by the time you fucking finish the diet. So like, you need to have you can't get lean in 1 meal and you can't get fat in 1 meal. It's a meal, not a fucking day. But I feel a lifestyle client can not get away with, but should have that downtime. Work really hard.
There is anomalies though. There's definitely anomalies that I've had where they can't handle doing that, because that's spirals into a fucking like concoction of shite where they just end up completely off plan for days.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I've had a few people that who have like I wouldn't say eating disorders, but got like a bad relationship with food, and the minute it triggers them, they can't stop then.
Game over. Yeah.
But I think for the general person, if you can control it, I think that is a good thing as a carrot at the end of the week to then obviously work towards. Book something, go out, socialize, have that with your family and have some downtime, and then get back to work. I find for me, when I was younger, like I used to, like the other coaches that I've had used to do that. Like when I was a Cal, I didn't have a cheat meal for about 25 weeks. Like just carry on. But obviously this is now my job, so I don't give a fuck about a cheat meal. I'll eat it when it's done. But I think in a prep phase as well, like when people are heading into a prep, cheat meals are not given. Cheat meals it's not even cheat meals that earned, they're utilized as a tool.
They need it.
Yeah, it's like, I've not even had a cheat meal. Yeah, well, you don't need one. Do you know what I mean? So
just a fucking buzzword that people buy into. They think, oh, I do bodybuilding now and dieting, so cheat meal this and cheat meal that. It doesn't fucking work. It's look, here's your fucking goal, and then we're going to find the best way to get you from where you are now to your goal. And don't even think of the word fucking cheat meal. It might be 3 hours of cardio and no food. It might be no cardio and cheat meals every week. Whatever fucking works.
That's what another thing that we'll encounter as well, like you just said, Kieran, is every single person that we deal with is different. No one's on the same amount of food. No one's on the same amount of cardio. No one's on the same, like obviously same compound, but the same amounts. Like we've just said there, Kieran, you do no cardio. I might do 40 minutes cardio. Tom did no cardio. We're all bodybuilders, pretty much the same standard. It's a sense of like, we're all been doing this for the same amount of time, but everybody is different. It's all circumstantial, isn't it? So thinking that just because this guy here is doing this, because I've had it with clients before, why does he get that? Or why is he doing that? Because it's fucking him, not you. So focus on yourself, what you're doing. You know what I mean? Rather than looking at everybody else.
I've got a woman at the minute, and every week.
Is it a side chick? Is it your missus?
Yeah. And she don't want to. She said, I don't want to weigh myself. It's pointless. I said, right, good, you're fucking dead right. And we just go off a gym performance and just go for feedback, how she's feeling, sleeping, moods, energy, the way she fucking feels in clothes and all that shit. And every couple of weeks, pretty much, I'm adding a bit of food, and then she seems to assimilate. Performance gets better. She looks fucking leaner, and then we push again. I'm just keep creeping food, and she's getting more muscular, and she's looking leaner. Fucking win-win.
How would you feel? Like obviously Samson does it, doesn't he, with meal loss? How would you feel about prepping without a scale?
I wouldn't give a fuck because of the position I'm in. It makes no odds to me.
I would like to. I think that is the biggest defining factor of how emotional you can be. Like, obviously, I prep myself. Have you prepped yourself for shows?
Yeah. Up until obviously you took over mine probably 6 weeks out last time.
So like, I prepped myself for my pro card because I was a student. I was like, I'm fucking doing it on my own. I'm sick of the rest of you. So I was like, no, I'm fucking do this on my own. And honestly, it was in some parts the easiest thing I've ever done because I was just like, all right, just do that. And I didn't have to wait and think what we're going to do. But then on the other side of it, it was quite hard because I couldn't really see what everybody else could see. So I was just pushing and pushing and pushing. But the sense of having a scale, I'd love to do it without a scale. I'd love to just go off the look because I think then that kind of determines, like, it's a metric that determines your decision making that sometimes isn't true, isn't it?
I've not been to the, obviously with the issue, I've not been to the gym all week, and then I had a bug, so I didn't eat for the full day or whatever. And then when I went for that MRI yesterday, obviously stripped off the mirror, and I thought, I look decent. Felt good, look lean, right? But if I stood on the scale,
I'm sure you sent me a picture.
if it was stood on the scale and I'm like fucking 12 pounds down, I'd have been devastated. But I'm like, I'm not going to stand on the scale. I'll just get back in the gym.
Well, I had now where I wasn't training as much and I wasn't eating as much and so on, and I went away on holiday, and then obviously everyone was like, "Oh, let's get a picture." I got a picture. I thought, "Fuck, I look sick," but I knew I was fucking light as shit. But everyone was like, "Oh, you look mint." I think what it is, it's our emotional attachment to the scale of like that's the metric if we're getting bigger. It's a metric if we're getting smaller. It's just the defining thing, in it, of like I've lost 2 pounds, I'm definitely leaner. I've gained 2 pounds, I'm definitely fatter. Like, it is that.
What's cool on it? When you look back at like people who've retired, some of the best in the game, like Jay Cutler, for example, or Philly or whatever, none of them, I don't think any of them ever say their best look was their biggest.
No,
it was always a smaller weight. Every one of them says this.
But you've had it as well, and you've seen it at shows where the guys with the most detail, as long as they've got a good structure and they've got a good muscle mass, the guys with the most detail is the ones that are like, fucking hell, like, that's crazy. Like, that's the look that you're going off. It's not, we're a certain, that annoys me as well. It's more like, I don't want to say, the JP crowd is all about, oh, I'm 300 pounds. Well, you don't look 300 pounds. Oh, I'm 300 on this, I'm 290. You don't look 290. I don't give a fuck. He's 220 and wipes the floor with you all day long. So
that's far more impressive to see. The only difference is if you see someone like fucking Nexzilla that's just an absolute freak. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, like, look at Samson. You look at Samson, who's actually got really nice proportions and really nice balance and everything else, and he's 300 pounds. That's when you're like Ronnie or someone like that. But like when it's just people claiming this, it's a new number, isn't it? Like 300 pounds supposedly. It's like, oh, it's 300 pounds. He still wouldn't win a show. It doesn't mean shit. Like, and I think when you're dieting down, it's the same thing. Like, I beat people who've been like fucking literally 2 or 3 stone heavier than me. I will look at like, I'm sure you won't mind me saying, Jimmy Tonk. Jimmy Tonk was like 225 pounds.
That was huge.
And I was 170 pounds when I won my pro card, and I beat him. I was the lightest guy, and I beat them all. So it's like they was all heavier than me, bigger than me, and so on. But it doesn't always go down to that. Do you know what I mean?
I think in amateur level, especially, like, condition wins. To be fair, there's always one guy who's completely peeled. He wins because there's not many people who, especially if he is the only guy who's completely peeled, he stands out like a sore thumb. Like,
but
massively.
They make other people look out of shape. Them people that detailed and that shredded, it's like, fucking hell, you know what, you've dieted. And they're really lean, but he's just peeled. And like you say, I think there is a balance. When you get to, say, a British level or a pro card level, there's a balance. But when you're talking regional level and so on, like, mainly the guy who's most shredded does win, doesn't he?
Yeah, because remember when we went to, I don't know, one of the shows, right? And I think Callum Vine won the overall.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the biggest and he wasn't the most shredded. There was 1, 2, and 3. One was massive, one was shredded. Callum was a good mix of both, and he won.
When you get to like a higher level of bodybuilding, in the sense of, like, to be fair, like when you're in pro leagues now, like Tom will have seen it when he came to watch me, like there's no one, like, no one's not good. Yeah. But I think when you start getting to like a regional, a British level and like an amateur Olympia level, it is sometimes a balance of all of it. It has, because it's bodybuilding. It's a balance of like conditioning, shape, structure, and some people do like that. Callum, he had everything, didn't he? Which was, we were a bit like, never won because we were like conditioned, weren't we? But when you look at it, step back and look at it, he should have probably won from a whole. But yeah, I think people who are doing the first time competitions, if you're listening to this, go off the look, get the fucking scale, because you're going to be 10 pounds lighter than you think you're going to be. But
yeah, you're not as big as you think you are.
It's true. But again, when like my first time I ever competed, I was beating some really good top level guys at like 155 pounds, like, because I was just peeled. So then it's like they, at that level, it will be rewarded. And then obviously over time, you just the criteria don't change, but the standard changes. But for your first time show, you just got to make sure you're fucking inside out. And I think that's another thing I sell to clients as well. Once you can hit that level of conditioning, then you're there. Do you know what I mean? You can always hit that level of conditioning, can't you?
And if you look at any fucking show pictures of Tom's or mine or Ryan's, we're completely fucking inside out peeled. Yeah. So if you're thinking about competing for fucking time, right? Get in touch, because 2024 is going to be sick, isn't it? This team's fucking.
The thing, like, when we was talking the other day, like, when we was planning everything out, it was just like, fuck, like, this is going to be like, as touched on today. Yeah, I was like, in the last 5 months, realistically, when you count November, December for coaching, obviously the season's over. So really, it's like 3 months, that we've been doing, and it's like the trajectory we've had. Like when we were going to show after show, like fucking multiple shows in a week.
The traveling we've done in a shot like already, mate, it's been fucking crazy.
And the clients that we've had and the people that have been on stage, and then the momentum that the team's building now, and the camaraderie, and everybody's going to each other's shows, and we're doing the team meetups and stuff. It's exciting, and it's going to be a really good year.
Yeah, and what's cool, mate, on the roster right now as well is, like, we've actually got a lot of first timers, a lot of people who have even done 1 or 2 shows, whatever, and then we've got the guys that are literally fighting for the pro card.
Yeah, we've got every. And I think that's what I love as well. I was explaining to someone yesterday. I like taking someone from just not, like, I think Danny said it on his testimonial, like, not believing in themselves that they can do a show, getting them in such good shape that makes them think, fucking hell, I'm capable of this, and giving them that much support and that much education, and then them going into shows, and it's like Danny's been with me 2 or 3 years now, and then it's like, I love taking someone from that point to now going for a British title. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's really nice to see. It's quite, I'll be honest, it's quite easy. Like when you've got Mo, who's a genetic freak, like we'll get Mo when it's like that, it's done. But getting someone from just being like, I'm not too sure if I can compete, I just like the gym and so on, and turn them into a top level British champion, it's that's where the work really comes in, isn't it?
Yeah. But them guys need to. This is where, right, when you found a coach, there's a lot of fucking fantastic coaches out there who know how to get you in shape. But the only way you're going to get in shape is if you put that person on a pedestal, you build a really good relationship. You've got to get on with them on a personal level. You need to be able to trust in that person. And if you can do that, that means you stay with them for a long period of time, because consistency, times by time, equals results every fucking time. Stick with someone for 1 year and then coach hop, and you'll find yourself doing it over and over and over again. You've got to give it time.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things we always say, isn't it? Like when what we're building now is we're looking at trying reverse engineering as athletes. Like, what do we want? And the reason, I'll be honest, the reason I brought Tom on board is because he's firsthand been coached by me, and he understands the standard of coaching and the level of detail and the level of, well, from your point, Tom, how do you see, like, from an athlete standpoint?
I think with myself in particular, I think over the years I've probably had six coaches. And when you took over from 6 weeks out, or 6 to 8 weeks out, it was, I just knew straight away the in-depth of everything is just nuts. It's like a whole nother, like, just league of, like, knowledge in depth. Just everything. There's an answer for everything, and it's not an answer. Sorry, there's not an answer. There's an answer. There's a link. There's a why. There's a what. There's a how. Whereas we mentioned this before with other coaches. They'd be like, "Oh, why are we doing that?" Because you are. All right.
It works. But I think the reason that and I'll be honest, I'll be 100% honest, I used to be one of them coaches. Yeah. However, when Callum started coaching me and started educating, it gave me so much more clarity on why we was doing something. Because then I was like, all right, that makes complete sense. I get that now. Whereas if in previously be like, just do this, and I'm thinking, what the fuck are we doing that for? It doesn't make any sense to me. But when someone can explain it and give you a reason, and then even back it up with the science, it's like, oh, right, okay, that's complete, makes sense then, it's going to work. And it just gives you so much more confidence as an athlete to then be like, right, well, I trust, again, like you said, Kieran, you've got to trust that person and know what they're saying. And they're not just saying it because they've copied it off the next person. It's because they actually know the ins and outs of why they're doing it. I think that's one of the biggest things with coaching, and the reason we retain clients is because they have that clarity. Even down to setting out a plan of action, like a fucking roadmap of, like, right, this is what we're going to do, and these are the phases we're going to be in and why we're going to be in them. I think that's a big thing as well to give, because we'll have all been there. It's like, well, how long are we in off season for now, and when are we competing? And if you give that sort of structure and a roadmap, just to say, no, it's not going to be definitive, but it gives them a good idea of what they're going to try and achieve in what time, and smaller goals. It just allows the client then to just work and do what they need to do.
I think with a lot of people, like me, honestly, I'm at a point where I don't care. I'm like, when it's like, if I'm in off season, I know I'm in it for a fucking long time, it's going to be a slog, and I know the goal, and it's fine. But there's a lot of people that go, look, you need, over these next 8 weeks, it's off season, but over these next 8 weeks, this is what we're looking to achieve. Just so they've got something to really fixate on for 8 weeks, which is a shorter period of time, and then hit that goal and then be right, okay, this is the next 4 to 6 weeks, and just set the goalposts along the way.
That's the one of the biggest things. Like, what I tried to do was stop thinking about what I wanted, because we are 15 years deep into bodybuilding. So my needs is completely different to what I tried to do was think back to, like, when I first started, or even on the check-in form is why we ask, okay, how can we improve the service? What do you need from us? Do you need any more help? So then you can get the data and say, oh, well, fucking everybody's struggling at this point. And the questions that they're asking is like, so what's next? Well, if you can give them the clarity of what next is and why it's that, then they're just going to be like, oh, right, sweet. And they're gonna have that more motivation and more discipline to stick to it. Because that's one of the things that I used to do a lot is like, well, I was obviously myself. I was like, I don't need a fucking Loom video. I just need a WhatsApp. But some people need that interaction and that to get your point across and the way you want to put it across. If I say to you, like, you're doing really well, mate, or we need to fucking work on that, bro, that in a text can be taken completely different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no actual.
That's why you've got to have dexterity as a coach, and that's where the communication is key, because people also have to be coached differently. You can't coach everyone the same.
No.
Some people want a Loom, some want a WhatsApp, some need a touch point, some need fucking telling, like, a lot of positive reaffirmations, or some need like a bit of a fucking stick up their ass to go, pull your fucking finger out, mate, you're taking a piss. Everyone, you've got to understand people.
That's what I think that's the biggest thing with coaching as well, is people management, is managing people and knowing and being self-aware enough to go, this guy really works well off criticism. This guy really works well off positivity. This guy really works off harsh, like, you know what I mean? Like you say, stick with his ass. You've got to kind of gauge that. And I think, not to criticize a coach, but I think coaches are so one-dimensional that they're like, this is my way. You have a fucking one or you shut up. And it's like, yeah, that's not coaching. Because if you, let's hypothetically say a football team, they're all gonna be coached differently. They're all gonna work in a different way. So I think that's definitely something as well with coaching.
I've got clients in particular. I've got some that I speak to once a week. I've got several. I've got 3 or 4, which at the end of every day, they have to send me a tick list with how many steps they've done, if they've had a session and progressed in it, and if they've stuck to the calories. And they need that to do it. Otherwise, if they don't do that, they fall off and they just leave it.
That close accountability in it.
They need to sit there and go, oh shit, I've got to text them at the end of the day. I have to have done these three tasks. I have to have done it. So
one of the things I've done with guys as well with when they're on prep is wait every day. Because once you get to a certain point with wait every day, someone will not cheat because they'll get to a point because if they cheat, you'll know. So it's like if you've got a 2 or 3 day window, they can cheat and then fucking zero carb it and they'll be back down to normal weight. So I started, and because you can always tell if someone's cheating, you can kind of tell from the like, have I got a cheat meal this week? Or like, you just know. Or I'll see it on the fucking someone's story. I'll find it.
If someone puts it on the story, mate, it's fucking mad, isn't it?
But then anyway, so I'll get him checking every day then, just with body weight. And it won't check, it might just go down. It won't be an update. It'll just be that accountability in it. Yeah, I think but like we were saying, this is like we've just been bragging about our coaching, but it just gives people a bit of
so we fucking should. That's to be it.
It just gives people a bit more insight to like what coaches. I think it's got a little bit of a bad stigma online coaching, because a lot of people have jumped into it and not really know what they're doing. Service has been shit. The results have been shit.
You know, the way I see this, right, is when people, the industry's saturated. Good, let it be fucking saturated, because years go on, they'll fucking fall off. They might have online coaching name. It doesn't mean they're coaching anyone, and they'll fucking fall off, mate.
The way I always see it is like that's their introduction into coaching. So then it's going to be like, right, okay, they know kind of how coaching works and they've got the money to spend on coaching. Then what they'll really do is then they'll come to somebody who's actually good at it. So it does give us that pathway of getting people in. But what I don't like is when they give them a shit experience and then everybody's tarnished with the same brush of like, oh, online coaching is bullshit. It's just stealing your money. You know, if you actually know about online coaching with a proper coach, it's really not. It's cheap as fucking chips for what you get, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
100%. Right, I think that pretty much. Well, let's just do a bit of an overview of like what's new, what's on the horizon, what's new with us. New sponsorship, which is cool as fuck, isn't it? We've got Riz has brought out some products, which has got L-carnitine, that pre-drink. Has he sent you the turbo drops?
Everything, bro. Yeah. The only one I've not got.
I ain't got everything.
The one I've not got is the health one.
Oh, the cycle support.
Yeah, that's the other one I've got.
I think he's redoing. He's not redoing it. He's just got more coming in. But yeah, so that's a good thing. Tom, you've got when you're back home?
Thursday flight. Yeah, fly Thursday morning to Thursday afternoon.
When does that?
We are back Friday.
When does that new leg extension land?
That new leg extension, first week of Jan. He messaged me yesterday. I'm hoping to get it in between Christmas and New Year.
Are you going to keep it white or spray it?
No, I think with what it is, just leave it. It'll be the only white piece in the gym.
Yeah, but still, it'll be iconic, won't it?
Yeah.
I'm actually sticking to a diet now. I'm doing bits, so I'm not too sure when I'm going to compete. I think probably end of the year. I've seen Craig. Do you follow Craig? Classic guy from Liverpool.
Morton.
Yeah. He smashed it yesterday. Second in pro show.
He's actually really fucking good, to be fair, mate.
Well, this is the thing. I think he's had about 12 months off, or maybe just about 6 or 7 months off. And I just thought, like, he's done really well before, but the improvements that he's made, and then jumping from like a mid-tier second call out guy to being like pushing the bull. Like, he was pushing Michael the Bull, who was like fucking 6th at the Olympia, and it was close. It wasn't like a clear winning, like the Bull won.
Why was he fucking peeled, was it?
Who?
Craig.
Was he peeled?
Huh?
It was a weird one because it was the whole thing of like the glute show. He was shredded, but it didn't, obviously he stood next to Michael the Bull where he's got lines and lines and lines across his glutes. So Craig didn't have that level of detail in his glutes, but that was it. That's the only thing that he didn't have that the Bull had. And I think that's probably the only, and again, probably his name, because you're not going to go from 6th at the Olympia to 2nd at a pro show. But when I looked at that, I thought, time to fucking work. Just get, because you can, I think I put it on my story, it's like 1 year of work or 6-7 months of hard work, and you're there. You're leapfrogging people. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was like, text Martin saying, like, let's just get our shit together. So, pushing through quite hard for the next couple of days.
We should probably ask as well whether it's on this YouTube, whether it's a comment below, or we put some question boxes up on our own Instagrams as well for the content day.
Yeah.
Anything that people know, what kind of reels we can bang out, some informational stuff, or if they want to learn some bits about training. Or
the other thing I was thinking as well is, not sure if people are going to comment because they always ask anyway, is it worth us bringing out the statement season stuff? I think if we do a small batch of it, I think it will be. From the feedback from obviously when we did the team meetup, everyone was on at me like, can I get a top? Can I get a top? And I was like, you fucking got any tops. So I think that's another thing as well. Well, in 2024, I'll sort my organizational skills out and fucking actually bring out the statement season stuff. Because I do think that
men's sizes out rather than just small boys.
You're small now.
That's true.
Yeah, we don't do shorts. That's fine, mate. Don't do shorts, prick. Dickhead. Honestly, he's a twat, right? Because I'll be like, oh, keep that one. It's like double XL, and he's like, I'm a triple XL. What he doesn't tell me is his head. To get his head through, he's got to but no, it's probably your shoulders. That's all it is.
Down past my knees.
You're a fucking prick. But no, another amazing fucking podcast as always. If you've made it this far, well done, you fucking weirdos. Tom, thanks for coming on, even though you're on holiday. Have a great fucking time. Try not to get through. Try not to die.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Ciao. Bye.
Peace.